So the community has been in a bit of an uproar over the past couple of weeks/months, and I don't think this chapter realistically helps quell a lot of people's concerns or issues with the story so far, but depending on what side you sit, how you feel about the story, etc., I think this is a good chapter. It has a lot to offer on the emotional front, the story beats are slowly picking up more pace, and there's kind of just an odd feeling within the air. For me personally, the past handful of chapters have felt that way. Things feel off, they don't feel correct, they don't feel as easy or breezy as what Fujimoto tends to write as, and that's me thinking he's doing all of this on purpose, creating this unsafe, anxiety-driven feeling. I get that, a lot of you may get that, but there's also the people that find this a bit too slow and monotonous, which I can't necessarily blame you for. He's taken his time. In saying that, Nayuta is the star of this chapter. She's holding it down, she's doing the best that she can, but we also get a good insight into her mind, just a little bit, how she thinks, how she acts, and how she perceives this whole situation, as desperate and timely as it is. So, let us begin. This situation is spiraling out of control, and while it's just regular humans with pitchforks that are going up and killing innocent civilians that even resemble or act or they think is related to chainsawman in any way, it's a really difficult thing to control right now. Public perception and all the fear that's going around, no wonder public safety is having a difficult time, and Denji's just getting the shortest stick of it. In saying that, Fumiko, however, she's a weapon. That's for sure. I think right here gives you all the reason why you should dislike her. Which sucks because I feel like a lot of us were rooting for her. She was getting a lot more attention. She may still get even more attention in the future. Realistically, we thought that she would help Denji, she would help Nayuta. She seemed like she was doing all of this revision. Originally, she was introduced as this snarky, snaky, deceptive woman, and then that was kind of flipped on its head and she's actually kind of a big fan of Chainsaw Man, and now it's going back to that originally. Not in the snaky type of way, but she's spineless. She is not cut out for this, which is kind of ironic because it is her job, and Nayuta calls her out on it. But the way she talks, the words that she says is so incredibly just yuck. Disgusting. How could you say this in such a desperate time? And I feel like it shows how carefree she is. She doesn't have to associate with Denji or Nayuta or whatever, and she knows that she's safe if she doesn't do that because everyone's kind of pounding onto them right now, and all of that cockiness just spews out into her words. She abandons them, simply. But the one set of words that gets under our skin is that when Nayuta is pleading for help, that this is her job, you don't know what's going to happen to Denji if you leave right now, we need you, our family has just been killed. Fumiko has the audacity, the soulless husk of a person to say that weren't they only pets? She is downplaying, mitigating, and honestly just spitting on all of the horrific stuff that has happened to the family, the infrastructure, the importance, the soul, the heart of both Nayuta and Denji's core. They have just watched everything in front of them go up in flames in the most horrific way possible, and while they're still reeling from that loss, they're trying to understand it and trying to really cope with the situation. Fumiko's just spitting on it. She's just rubbing it in. Disgusting person. We can't like her anymore. We don't support her anymore. She is out. The next time we see her, I hope she gets obliterated. I hope Denji does it too, which, speaking of Denji, is in kind of a weird situation. So let's talk about him. You may notice one thing throughout this whole chapter. Denji is very subdued. He's very lax. He's not really doing anything. And that's mostly because that he's injured. But I think the polarizing nature of Chainsaw Man's story gives this implication that every single time that Denji is within a fight and when Chainsaw Man is activated, he's always going to be chaotic and out of control. But there's times like this, and even throughout part 2, where you see, I guess, more of a subtle side of that Chainsaw Man form, especially when he's indecisive or he's in a place where he can't use it as freely or naturally. This is one of those times. He can't just obliterate all of these people. He has a concern and he has this idea of not wanting to do all of these horrific things in front of Nayuta, which is funny because she plays the opposite variation of that later in the chapter, when she starts to use humans as weapons and starts to kill. But she says, finally, I'm alone, I can do this, similar to how Denji would. They're identical, and we love that for them because Denji is raising her correctly, the right way. No fear, no monstrous Makima being born, but with compassion and love. Exactly what is needed. So if you're curious on why Denji isn't doing anything, why he isn't devouring all of these people, this would be an easy situation to overcome. He's fighting himself here. Nayuta was not technically in any trouble at that point, and she manages to get him out. So before he can even see the whole picture, because I do think he would kill all of these people if they did threaten Nayuta, she sends him away, which is both a good thing so he can recover, but also a bad thing because now she's all alone. So we're still stuck within a rock and a hard place. It's just now Denji is out of the picture. Not only does he have to recover, drink some blood, do what he has to do, but he has to hope that Nayuta can survive, which I do have an option, an idea for how that could actually work. A couple of interesting facts about Nayuta, however. She can only use 3 chains at a singular time. I know a lot of people are like, oh well, she's controlling these people without the chains. Not true. She's controlling people with chains. Sometimes you see them, sometimes you don't. It's an artistic thing, and there's only 3 of them, so she's extremely limited. However, she does flip this. Now that Denji's gone, because she controls the body to carry him away to safety, she starts to kill people. But she explicitly states, very purposefully, that she is not the same as Denji. She doesn't get a rush. She doesn't get a high, she doesn't even find it fun or entertaining to kill other people. She has more fun with video games. To me, this is a direct response to how Denji is raising her. Once again, correctly, the right way. That she will never turn into a monster because she doesn't have that type of bloodlust. She doesn't have that type of attitude or persona that is incredibly manipulated like Makima was, being controlled by public safety and being utilized as a controlling weapon. Nayuta has been raised with love and care, and you can definitely see it be tested in here. So she hangs on for as long as she can. Everyone is kind of turning against her, but they're still kind of iffy because she is a child and she tries to use that as an advantage. Like, look, I'm just a kid, don't hurt me. It doesn't really go all too well. And the person that throws us out the window is none other than Barum. The snake, slimy individual comes crawling over and he's like, look, she done this to me. And he is beaten up, destroyed, obliterated. So even though the humans are like, oh, this is kind of odd, she is only a child, they start getting active. She tries to defend herself. She takes control of other people. She gets injured a little bit. She kicks someone between the legs, which, you know, paying homage to Denji when she just said she couldn't be him. So it's a very nice coupling of them meeting in the middle, but just to really rub salt in the wounds, to make you overthink the situation more than you probably already are. Barum pulls out a gun, a damn pistol. Now, if you want to kind of go crazy with the idea that the gun devil is back, by all means, you can take this representation to be that. Ending everything there is harsh. Having a 2-week break after it, even more harsh. How does Nayuta get out of this situation? The one person that comes to mind, Asa Mitaka. But I don't really know where she is. So we had the situation with Yoshida and Asa, and that kind of puts her in a weird predicament, but it would be within the public safety's best interest, correctly and properly, to go and save Nayuta. They don't want Denji to transform. They don't want him to go into that big full armor Pochita form. So their interest would be protecting her, putting her under custody. But Fumiko snaked out. She disappeared. She ran away. She's not trustworthy. But funny enough, that was her job, to keep eye on these two, to protect them at all costs and to put them into custody. If I was Yoshida and in this kind of difficult position, either put yourself to play, so Yoshida comes out and handles the situation himself, or more kind of quickly put Asa out there. It would be difficult for Yoshida to have faith in her, but it would make for this situation with Nayuta and Barum to be kind of concluded in a nice way. If Asa swoops in, saves the day, and takes her out of there. If this is possible, it does set up a nice little playground for what's to come. Nayuta's out of the picture, she's kind of safe, she's with public safety. Denji's still in public, he's on his own. Public safety is kind of doing their own thing, trying to mitigate the situation. Chainsawman Church and all the people on the street are going crazy, so everyone kind of has to avoid everyone as much as possible. Denji should be avoiding people as much as possible. He's not going to go through and kill a bunch of innocent civilians just to go from point A to point B. So there's kind of this cat and mouse game that's being played between everybody, and all the pieces currently are being thrown up in the air. The lingering thing is obviously Nostradamus' prophecy. This could kind of spawn in at any time. We don't know how it spawns in, we don't know where, we don't know why. The specifics are completely unclear, so until we actually get some sort of information, it's kind of just a lurking, lingering thing that can pop in whenever it's actually needed. I think Fujimoto is doing well. He's taken his time and he's building things up and giving more and more emphasis to certain things, but it does seem like he's starting to split the players into their respective roles. I think we're getting to a point where a lot of that changes and evolves very rapidly. It feels purposeful, very purposeful, that he's taking so long to kind of inch over this specific line and then everything just comes crumbling down. I would not be surprised if the back end of this story is incredibly quick, controlled and structured, but wild and fun. And I have a ton of interesting ideas that I will be talking about very soon in relation to said future. So look forward to that. Hello, welcome to the end of the video. If you've made it this far, thank you. I appreciate you. Leave a like and subscribe, that'd be nice. Also, check out some of these videos here. The more you watch, the more YouTube recommends me. YouTube likes that, I like that, you may like that too. However, that is all I got. Let me know your thoughts on the chapter, what you like, what you dislike, and I will see you all later.